Good morning, guys. So this morning I'm going to show you a game from last night that I played against an 1800 chess.com rating. My chess.com rating is 1880, but in real life, over the board, I would take those with a grain of salt, maybe subtract 100, 150 rating points. So he's probably really a 1700 over the board, and I'm technically a 1658 USCF over the board rated player. But anyway, that's just to show you the strength of who's playing this game. But what would you do if you're white here? So I'm white and my opponent was black. How do you win the game? You have the outside pass pawn here, so his king is committed to having to stop my pawn from pushing to h7. And at the same time, I have 4 pawns to his 3 pawns. So there's got to be something decisive that you would do to win this game and turn it into a win. So I'll just pause here and give you some time to think. So the winning move is b4, and my opponent responded by taking. Now the question is, which pawn do you push? You can push the A pawn or you can push the C pawn, and it turns out that both are correct. But if you push this A pawn, this is what I did in the game. He took, I pushed. Now he's going to take here with check. And I got to be worried now because I've created my passed pawn on the D file, but now I got all these other pawns that my king's got to play defense against. So I came back because he's, took with check, and and then he starts pushing this pawn. Now, no need to worry. And if you've learned in-game tactics, or maybe you haven't, here's how a good way to think of this. So he pushed this pawn here. Now his pawn only has 3 squares to go before it queens, and what this is called the box. So if he has 3 squares to go, what you do is you count 3 squares over. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is my king, or can my king make it into the square within that time? And he's already in the square, so I have nothing to worry about. Now, if my king was, say, like, let's say the position was different, and my king was like over here or something. Now, my moves wouldn't have been the same, let's say, but let's say he pushes here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's the square. My king is not in the square, so I would have issues. I wouldn't be able to stop this pawn from promoting. I mean, here, here, here. I mean, he's clearly going to promote. So you really have to, it really depends on where your king is located if you can make it in the square. I actually learned this from an in-game book many years ago. It was written very well by Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan, who is known to be, and still is, a great in-game player. So if you haven't read that book, it's a good one to pick up. It's easy to digest, very common problems, things that come up in in-game, but in-game tactics are extremely, extremely important to know. It's not just the opening and the middle game. But okay, moving on. So he pushed here, I pushed here, he goes here. Remember, his king, even if his king tries to kill my pawn here, I still have my H pawn, so he can't defend both. But the game is pretty much lost here at this point. I mean, he played on, but I think he even tried to deflect my king here with a check. And that's fine, because I can still take the pawn, because my king is still in the square with his F pawn. So, takes, then he tries to run. This is called a crooked path, guys, with a king. And he comes here, tries to kill this pawn, which he will, but then I go here. So the game ends because of just some tactical in-game play that you got to understand. The tactical themes in this are the crooked path, pawn sacrifice, promotion, and just in game understanding of the square.